Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth. I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader. And this, my darling, is our daily pulse for the weekend, for the 8th to the 10th, Friday the 8th till Sunday. How are we all doing? I've just had a text message, actually. I'm very well connected to my friends at the moment, in spirit and in energy, because I've just had a text message from my friend, and he said, the message that you wrote on the Daily Pulse for Monday, Ruth, was really helpful to me and to a lot of people in my life. And it was at that point that I felt this energy here, which is the card at the base of the reading, which is the Queen of Wands. And I always talk about the wand energy is that will to move and the understanding of when it is time to move. And so I got up, and Tiny's here, because Tiny was there as well, weren't you, Tiny? He loves his Uncle Jamie, does Tiny, don't you? He loves his Uncle Jamie. So he always, when Uncle Jamie's here, he always likes to see his Uncle Jamie, don't you, and cuddle his Uncle Jamie. So we're right. When Tiny talks, we all should listen, okay? So we are right to, and I was right, clearly, considering these were the messages, and Tiny just confirmed that, to come on and do the daily pulse for today. So before we'll start with the card at the base of the reading before moving on to what's facing us this weekend, what's hidden from our conscious minds this weekend, and then the blessing for this weekend. And obviously we have the key message also of the Ace of Cups. So the card at the base of the reading, the perspective of this time period, is the energy of the Queen of Wands. Queens as opposed to kings. Kings are about our actions, our divine masculine, the things that we do, the experiences that we have. And the queens are about our divine feminine, so that's about our understanding. It's about what we understand within, what we feel within, what we know within, how we respond within, how we react, our instincts, and reacting to them and responding to them and hearing them and engaging with them. And with it being wand energy, it's about art. Wow, look, we've got the Six of Wands beneath that, so this is nice. I'm feeling the good vibes, guys. I'm feeling the energy has shifted. With the wand energy, it's about our life force, our chi, our key, the literal force that animates us, that moves us, that whenever we feel excitement, anticipation, nervousness, even trepidation, these are all experiences, a physical experience of wand energy. So this is about connecting with that feeling, connecting with what we feel, the urge to move. The Tibetan Book of the Dead calls it the motivating factor, if you will, or motivating factors. The energy that motivates us, the energy that moves us to act, to expand, to see new, to do new, to feel new. And it's about being awake. And I think I always say to you guys, I do not escape the energy. So especially with the daily pulses, actually, the messages that I give, we're all in a collectively in a time. It's kind of like the collective consciousness is out in the world, manifested, hence the coronavirus. And what I mean by that is we're all being affected by the same thing at the same time. So that's what I mean by collective consciousness, if you will. And this is why these type of collective readings have been so important, really, for me, and I've felt so moved to do them, because we are experiencing a wave, if you will, of learning, of karmic learning, all at once with the coronavirus. And this is really the energy of this weekend, is about how switched on we have actually become to noticing our responses, to noticing our emotions, to noticing our feelings, our physical feelings, our discomfort, to even at times, to noticing our lessons, to noticing our patterns of behavior, to recognizing our karma, however it is applying for everyone as an individual. What's happening is that we're noticing more, we're more aware and more engaged in our lives, and also in how we are responding to our lives, and how we are responding to what's actually going on, how it's actually affecting us and impacting on us. But this shows that maturing awareness with the Queen of Wands. It shows that, yes, it's getting louder, if you will. Again, we can't sort of avoid, or we can't distract ourselves, because we don't have the opportunity to do that, because we don't have to go to work, and we don't have to go shopping every 3 days or whatever it is. So, and we don't have to commute. So those things means that it is becoming louder. I mean, it's been intense this last few days. We've had the new moon, haven't we? I posted this in my story, but I've not yet done it on the Instagram actual post with the written breakdown of the astrology. But if you look, You know, we have the full moon in Scorpio was yesterday, the 7th, retrograde season, and lots of you have watched that retrograde, the astrology video for retrograde season, which talks about all the retrograde movements, transits over the next 6 weeks. And this full moon in Scorpio, remember, Scorpio's card is death card. Full moon is always an opportunity to shine a light on what's inside. So if you think about that, it's that transformation has been absolutely acute and real and has been resonant. You would have felt it. I felt it. So as I always tell you guys, I'm a Reiki master, and it's not just something I say. It's an experience for me. It's a physical experience of how the energy, the wand energy, the ki, if you will, or chi, how that physically affects me. So over the last few days, if you don't see me on Key Wisdom Tarot, if I'm not doing readings, if I'm not responding, if I'm not replying to the emails, it's because I physically cannot do it. So that transformation for me, that Scorpio full moon transformation for me last night and over the last few days, because it always hits me, I always tell you, it hits me just a couple of days in advance. So, you know, sort of from Sunday, from Monday, it's been very physically hard. I've not been down or limited by that in a way. It's not sort of brought my mood down, if you will, but when I'm there, I just have to be there, and it's painful physically. It physically pains me. It's physically painful for me. But that transformation nicely brings me onto this card. It's the 8th today, isn't it? It's the 8th. It's after the new moon. It's a new moon today, so there's no moon in the sky. Or there might be, but it's a new moon. So in fact, I didn't write the new moon down. Anyway, never mind. So we start with our key message, if you will, our key message for today, or for this weekend, I should say, and that's the Ace of Cups. And this is, you know, I'm feeling like I want to do a reading that just looks at a couple of days, because what I noticed when I did the reading on Monday was that this energy is going to be with us for a few days, and I felt that at the time when I was filming that video on Sunday for us on Monday, and it really has stayed with us. So go back and look at Monday's Daily Pulse, because that's really been the theme of the week, and you know, between Monday and Friday, and now we're getting to Friday, and now we're at Friday and this weekend. I feel like we're going to be going, and you're going to be experiencing this new sort of maturing awareness, this new confidence, and what this card represents is this new emotional beginning. So, you know, I sort of found the line, if you will, or the for me, I found the line, I found the non-negotiable, the thing that I was going to be listening to. It came through very clearly, very strongly a couple of days ago, and what it was that you just have to tell the truth. You just have to tell the truth. You just have to tell the truth. As far as for me, this is my revelation, if you will, and that might not be for you. You might not be in that specific place, but this is the type of transformation that we're going through, or the type of transformation that I went through, where you have these moments of doubt, where you doubt yourself, you doubt what you're doing, you doubt if you're saying the right things, you doubt if you should do this, or am I, you know, capable of doing this, and you doubt and you doubt and you doubt. But ultimately the truth, and we had a beautiful conversation actually beneath the astrology video. I've pinned that comment, read it, read the interactions that were going on there. But what it taught me, that conversation, and that day when I was having those conversations with people, was that the only truth in life, the only truth is how we respond. That's it. So it doesn't matter what I say in a tarot reading. It doesn't matter what anyone says, what God said in the Bible, or what anyone says anywhere. It doesn't matter. What matters is the only truth is how you respond. The only truth is how I respond. That's it. That's the only truth. That's the only real thing. How do I respond? That's the only real thing that I can hold on to. That was literally, I felt, and we know this, it's always this space, I call it the torture chamber, but this space here, your second and third chakra, that's always the space. And in my stomach, physically, in that space, I felt the adjustments, if you will, going on a physical level, to sort of allow for that release. and for that influx of new energy, of that recognition, of that wisdom, of that learning of, oh my gosh, that's all that matters. The thing that matters, don't matter what you say, Ruth, on your key wisdom tour, it don't matter what any of tarot readers say, don't matter, none of it don't matter. Whether it's true or not does not matter. What matters is how you respond. Whether you know that to be true or not, I know that that's true. I know it's true. That level of clarity, of foresight, and I was talking on the astrology video, because we've got all this, we've got these true node in Gemini, that's the north node, we've got Saturn's going retrograde in Aquarius, we've got Mercury entering Gemini. All of this is in the next, look, it's all air energy, and it's that, as I was saying, that connection between that wisdom, what's going on beneath the surface, that sort of divine feminine sort of smoky sort of, not fixed, not firm, side of life, that shadowy side of life, if you will. I talked about that during about retrograde season. Check out that retrograde video. But it's about, because we've got so much air energy as well, it's about the connection between those two. It's about coming into that awareness. It's about feeling it and thinking it and knowing that those two things are connected. It's like, what's the point in lying? What's the point in not saying how you feel? What's the point in not saying how this is a cups, if you will, and you're going to have a similar thing, however it's going to affect you. But it's like, be you, like, so if people, it's, I think for me, the starkest, and I don't want to go there, guys, but I'm going to have to, I think I don't want to go there, but I'm going to have, one of the starkest things that we heard yesterday in the UK was that black and ethnic minorities were basically twice as likely to die. So it's 90% more likely to die, actually, if you just account for age. But if you account for, there's a white person and a white man and a black man, and they both do the same job, and they both live next door to each other on the same street, and they both went to the same school, and they both are the same age, and they both have the same underlying health conditions. So everything's the same. Everything, the poverty, if there is poverty or not, whatever, everything's the same. The degrees or whatever, the jobs, everything's the same between the white man and the black man. The black man is twice as likely in those circumstances to die than the white man. Now, I don't know, and there's a reason for it. I don't know the reason for it. Doctors don't know. We don't know. But what the sort of the soberness of that message for me yesterday was that we are always told, I was always told, like my brothers and sisters, like I told the pupils that I would teach, not white or black, just everyone, that, you work hard in your life. You put that work in, you put that effort in, you make those sacrifices, because then you get to a stage in life where you're not struggling anymore, where things are equal, where it doesn't matter where you come from, because your education, because your dedication, because your hard work will mean that your life, your children's life will be better than the life that you had, and vice versa. And that's what every generation tries to do, regardless of what race you are or where you come from. Every generation tries to do that, don't they? And what was really sad about the news yesterday about black people living in America, living in the UK, and black people not living in Nordic countries, actually. So it doesn't affect people. So in Sweden, there's no difference between black people and white people dying for COVID. There's no difference, for example. So I'm just saying that's what it said. So what the soberness of that message for me was like, the truth is, it does matter, and it's really stark under COVID, and not just for the black and the white or whatever, not just for that, but for all sorts of reasons, individually, that are going to that you might be more in tune with because of your age group, or because of your health condition, or because of your nationality, or whatever, or because of where you live. You might be more starkly aware of it. What happens is this COVID thing has made us all aware. Everything's being seen, isn't it? So all the Seven of Swords stuff that we tell ourselves, everything's fine, we work hard, we do well, and then we get to a place where things are easier, where then we get to a place where, it doesn't matter, we're all equal. When it comes to statistics like that, that was devastating to hear. But it's also the truth, and what I realise is, people, I don't like talking openly about race, about things like that, because See, the reason that people don't like talking about it, you know, it makes people feel uncomfortable, and I'm British, so you know, we know the British stiff upper lip. It's not a cliche, it's true. We don't like talking about it in Britain. We don't like talking about it, and that's just like fed into you because we're British. That's our culture. Our culture is you don't address really things like that directly because it makes us feel uncomfortable. If something makes you feel uncomfortable, don't talk about it, don't address it. That's the British way. So, you know, we just kind of smile through it, and that's a British way, and that's a Seven of Swords way, and that's a good way. We need that sometimes, but in times like this through Corona, as I said, everything's laid bare, and that sort of, the truth is a truth is a truth, and the truth is only how you see it. The truth is only how you react. So you might have a completely different experience and a completely different way of viewing it, and that's absolutely totally fine. Like, you should, that's where you are, and you might have the exact opposite views as me, and that's absolutely fine. And for me, the sort of awakening, if you will, the emotional awakening was that the truth is a truth is a truth, that you know, for me, and that's the same for everybody else. So, you know, it's all about, for me, understanding where that truth comes from. You know, where does that truth come from? Can I rely on that place? You know, where do these messages come from? Where can I rely on that place? Can I reliably locate it? Is it distinct from my ego? In what way is it distinct from my ego? Etc. How does it feel different from my ego? How do I know that I can do, etc. etc. These are the type of questions that I, as a master number 7, as you know, ask and continue to ask, and continue to work with and meditate with, and be mindful of in all times. And I think that the truth is a truth is a truth, that sort of message that came through for me loud and clear, was my emotional awakening, was my Ace of Cups moment. And it's something that it helps me feel like this. Knowing that makes me feel like this. It makes me feel confident. It makes me feel confident in a sense of, that's what, the only thing that you can hold on to really is what you feel. The only thing that you can hold on to really is what you understand, is what you know. And then if you share that with someone, and then someone says, well, you know, my experience teaches me this, and my experience, and it can change and shift your mindset, of course. But the only thing that you can hold on to is to be aware of how you're responding to stuff, how you're feeling about stuff, and allow yourself to say it, allow yourself to express that to yourself in your mind, or out loud. I mean, I like to talk to myself. I talk to myself every day. I say these things out loud. It helps me to see it all. I mean, I'm talking about me. That's my truth. That's who I am. And it doesn't, and that's it. I mean, for people, if they don't like that, you're very welcome to not like that, and understand your reaction, understand where does your reaction come from, understand why does that trigger you. That's your learning, that's your truth. You can't control what I say. I can't control what you say. I can't control what they say. I can't control what anyone says. I can't control what anyone else does. I can only be aware of how I respond to it, of how I react to it, because that's the only real thing. And that's the only thing that's going to be able to guide me in my next steps going forward. That was the Ace of Cups moment for me. And that's the type of revelation or feeling that you're going to be experiencing, however it is for you, that truth. It's that, this is emotional truth. This is emotional truth. This is that you feel how you feel. I mean, people, I love the mind. The mind's a beautiful thing, but people, the mind is people, you know, if you look at how we evolved as humans, you will know that the oldest part of ourselves, as how we evolve, even if you look at just biology now and babies, etc., even if you don't go back to the, you know, human evolution, but just look at babies, you know, the instinct develops first. This develops before the brain. This develops before the sense of self. You know, a baby can't even recognize the face in a mirror up until it takes them 18 to 24 months for a baby to recognize their own face in a mirror, for a baby to recognize a sense of their self. The only thing, so that's your brain working, isn't it? That's how your brain develops. So the baby's been developed from an egg for a long time before the brain starts developing to that extent where they can identify things. And so that tells us, just that basic truth tells us that the wand energy, if you will, or your instinct, and is the oldest and most and wisest part of you. And so listen to it. And we are listening to it. We got no choice right now. Okay, that's even for me, 20 minutes on 2 cards is a record. Okay. So key message, I would just say, key message is pay attention and notice the changes that are coming in through for you, the truths that are coming through for you, the emotional truths that you're feeling, because it is the truth. And to respond to that truth is a thing that responding to that truth, reacting to that truth is the only thing that you can control. That's it. That's the only real thing. That's the only real thing. And that's when it comes to karmic paths. So by doing that, that's the next step on your karmic path, by acknowledging these new emotional truths that you're feeling, this new emotional experiences that you're having over this time period, over this next few days. By acknowledging those things, that's going to help you to understand, well, what do I do next? And this is what you do next. Taurus's energy. I've just done your what happened is I started on the extended readings, May, June, July readings for the star signs, and I got through Virgo and Taurus, and then I was like, oh my gosh, but Taurus is a good reading, Virgo is a good reading. I might just post yours. I might just post the earth signs on Saturday or whatever. But anyway, so Taurus, this is Taurus's card, and I tell you with this card, what do I tell you with this card? You can live your truth or somebody else's. That's this card. That's the energy of the Hierophant in a nutshell. The headline, if you will, the headline of the Hierophant is you can live your truth or somebody else's. And it's about understanding. I gave a full breakdown last year about that, but it's still there. You can still see it on my Instagram. I gave a full breakdown of what that actually means. So what does your truth mean, and what does somebody else's truth mean? Well, somebody else's truth, that could be societal norms, that could be religious institutional beliefs, the beliefs of society, for example. So as I said, the British sensibility is to the stiff upper lip. We're getting better at it now, to be fair. We are getting better at it. We have evolved. We are sort of more, in fact, this is why we love the young generation, because we are getting more good at talking and confronting things and telling the truth. But really, I think we like being lied to. We know that government lies to us, but we like it because we know it's bad if they can't tell us everything. We don't want to know. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if it's that bad, we don't want to hear it. We kind of have this, we want to be in a bubble, really. But I think that's changing. But anyway, so that's, so somebody else's rules could be, as I said, the norms of the society, or the usual norms of the family, or how you would usually handle things, or how you were brought up to handle things, for example. And then your rules would be, as I said, well, the truth, the emotional truths that you feel. The truths that you have learned, the new lessons that you have learned. This is stuff that, again, remember, goes at odds. Our experiences are teachers, just as the society teaches us. So the society we grew up in, and the culture we grew up in, and the family we grew up in teaches us, how to love, how to be respectful, or whatever, or not, I don't know, whatever whatever anyone's family or religion or whatever taught them. That's the input, isn't it? We get that input. The Hierophant talks about those institutionalized inputs. So I went to a Catholic school, so it's like there's one God and blah 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 and all these things, and that's all part of, and it all makes a part of who I am. So and we all have that, the culture that you grew up in, whether that's Germany or Spain or France or Philippines, doesn't matter. There's different cultural norms, but then there's your life experiences, and there's what your life teaches you. And sometimes, and wouldn't it be nice if those two things were both beautifully, in balance? If what we are taught, and if in how we're brought up, and the way that our society runs and functions is totally at harmony with our true beliefs and our true experiences, it would be, maybe the world would be a beautiful place, a better place, but I don't know if it would. Humans don't work that way. But anyway, they're not always even, and they're not always the same. And it doesn't mean that you have to reject everything that you learn, when you were growing up, or you have to reject your whole religion. That's not what this is about. This is about, this is the message of Gnosis, of when I talk about Gnosticism, I talk about Jesus, I talk about the Gnostic Gospels. This is what Jesus did. This is what Gnosticism is. It's about the knowledge. It's about truth. So the truth, as according to Jesus in the Gnostic Gospel, according to Jesus, that's what Jesus was teaching about, is about your relationship with God. So Jesus lived his truth, didn't he? So the religion at the time, which everyone was following, Judaism, in his community, that was the truth, that was the law, and they threw Jesus out. And Jesus said, what are you all doing here in the synagogue? What are you all doing? This is not right. So that was his truth. That was Jesus's truth. And everyone thought this guy was crazy. And obviously he was sacrificed for it, for his beliefs. But that's what the Hierophant talks about. That you are the master of your relationship with your life experiences and with God. Jesus used the word God. I use the word universe. To me, it's exactly the same thing. You might use the word something else, and that's absolutely fine and right for you. This is about you being able to hear both, being able to realize that it doesn't mean that they're necessarily at odds, but being able to recognize that the way that the things that we are taught. So think about Jesus, the things that we're taught, the things that we're taught, and also the truth of your experiences. There's got to be something. What's the thing that's going to be the guide in your life? What's the thing that's going to be the thing that moves you forward in life? Is it going to be, even with everything you know, still to adhere to things that may be at odds with your own experiences, maybe at odds with the truth of how you actually feel? The Hierophant asks you, I'm not going to tell you what to do. The Hierophant asks you always when we see this card. That's the relationship. That's the questions, if you will, the two sides that you need to be addressing or looking at when we see this Hierophant. You've got to be weighing up, if you will. Not weighing up. You're not weighing up. It's about knowing that both exist, really. It's about knowing that both exist. And that's heightened, and definitely heightened. It's one thing to know what you've been told, or to know what culturally is acceptable, or to know what in your religion or whatever is acceptable, or in your practice is acceptable. But it's another thing to know what you've actually experienced, and what you've actually seen, and what you've actually felt, and what you've actually encountered, and how you've actually handled it. So, this is why. Anyway, I won't go into, but anyway, this is what helps us to change. So the Hierophant asks, it sort of pricks our attention to the fact that there's both sides. So what's hidden? So we've got, so I'm going on. It's going to be a 40-minute, guys. Anyway, I do apologize if it goes on too much, but that's the truth, and I don't ignore it, and I don't apologize for it. And when I was reading in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Pistis Sophia, which is the Gnostic Gospel that I read, and it was saying, one of the, so Mary Magdalene says to Jesus, it's all Mary Magdalene. I love Mary Magdalene. I tell you what, after reading 98 chapters of Pistis Sophia, you love Mary Magdalene too. She's like, so Jesus will sit there and he'll go, he'll talk about, so this is what happens, this is how we receive, this is how we receive light, and this is how we receive knowledge and wisdom. It's not this straightforward, but I'm trying to paraphrase. This is how we receive light, and he says, and you will go. So once you reach that level of light, if you will, or enlightenment, you will pass all the regions. You will pass through all the regions, and the regions are the dimensions. The regions are. This is what Jesus says, so I'm just sticking with Jesus, right? Because if I try to explain it all, I will be here all day. So he says, you will go through the regions, he says, and the people who've been at region 1, it's not called the region 1, but anyway, in the first region, you will pass, once you get past the first region, and you understand the mystery of the first region, he says, you will pass through all the other regions, and all the people that couldn't understand past that first region, they will stay there, and you will go up without any apologies, and you won't have to explain yourself. And basically what that means is, once you sort of get us to a certain level of awareness, of understanding, so for example, the first one, or the main one, which is talked about as the first mystery in the Gnostics, and which is talked about in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. The first mystery is, I am more than body. That's the first mystery. So to know that there is more to life than just the physical. That's the first. I'm sort of reducing a huge amount of literature down here to a sentence. But this is my teacher, the teacher in me, yeah. So if you think about the first mystery being, I am more than body. So you are more than just the physical body, right? So that's the first mystery. So once you know that, then that, like, literally there's so much already just by knowing that, just by understanding that. And it takes a huge amount of time and effort and energy to really understand the fullness of what that means. But just by understanding that, you already pass there's so many people already. There's so many people that don't even know that. There's so many people that aren't awake to that, for example. So you pass all those people, Jesus says. Anyway, and he goes on and on. So what's hidden? I don't know, I'm talking. What's hidden? I mean, I wonder, this is going to be something about talking, isn't it? Let's have a look. Oh, this is good. What a nice weekend. So, you know, I love it. You know, the card in this position I always like to think about as what's hidden from our conscious minds. You know, what might be hidden, what might be secret from ourselves, what might we be keeping secret from ourselves, or what might the universe be keeping secret from us. I kind of like to think that this is this card, so it's kind of like what's coming that you don't know. So I kind of like to think of it in that way. This reading, this card in this position, and it's always a very supportive energy, and today is no exception because it's the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups, we know that number 9 is related to Virgo's energy, and it's because it's linked also to the Hermit energy, which is all about our foundations and our higher learning. Remember, I talked a lot about, we had a lot of number 9s about just over a week ago. Day after day we were having number 9, and again, you know, we look at this and we see that number 9s are related to religion and the 9th house in astrology, religion and philosophy, higher learning, foreign countries, overseas travel, dreams, dreams, spirituality, synchronicities, in-laws, and then Sagittarius, Jupiter, fire. So it is about our higher learning, our understanding, our religion, our philosophy, really the questions that I've been talking about. Number 9 is, and number 9 is that sort of the focus that we place on those things in order to understand, in order to grow further, in order to understand more. So the focus in this instance that we're placing is on our emotional self. So I mean, really, this is the same thing. This is what I'm talking about, what I've been talking about. The theme of the reading, or the theme of the weekend, if you will, seems to be one of engaging with our obviously we're having this new emotional message, if you will, or feeling, if you will. You know, emotions are the truth. You know, emotion is truth. So what you feel is the truth, and that may be at odds with what you've been taught, what you've learned, what your religion tells you, or whatever, you know. So I think that, I just had a thought coming. So say, for example, you are, so I'm a Catholic, a Roman Catholic, and I don't know really what the updated sort of messages, for example, but for example, people say, and I completely disagree with those people, and I always have completely disagreed with those people. People say that if you're a Catholic, that you can't be gay, so that if you're like, you know, you shouldn't be, because I don't know why man think that they're no better than God or universe, or why they think that they can decide about people's sexuality, but whatever. So say, for example, you were a Catholic, a Roman Catholic like me, and you and your religion had taught you, so the rules of your religion, the rules of our religion is you can't be gay if you are Roman Catholic. I don't know what they expect. Anyway, I don't even get me started on that because I will be here all day. But anyway, you can't. But then your life and experiences teach you that I am gay, so I do feel attracted to this woman or this man. Well, it depends if you're a man or woman, but you know what I'm saying. I feel attracted to him, and I'm a man, so I am gay, but that's at odds with my religion. That's at odds with what I've been taught. What do you do then? That's a question of the Hierophant. I tell you what Jesus would tell you. Well, read the Gnostic Gospels, but Jesus, according to the Gnostic Gospel, Jesus would tell you that it's about your relationship. It's not about what they told you it's about your relationship. That's what Jesus did. That's how Jesus changed the world. He said, listen, why are you listening to these people selling these icons, doing all this? Don't listen to that. Come and follow me. That's why the guy changed the world, because everyone was just doing what they were told. Everyone was just doing anyway, I won't even go into the word of God, but I'm saying, you know, it's nice and convenient, isn't it? The word of God is about homogenizing people's beliefs and about making people do what you said, so that you can keep an eye on people paying their taxes. It makes, you know, it's great, that, isn't it? At the time, anyway, Jesus would have said, and that's the truth as far as I understand it. You know, I listen, that's the truth as I understand it. So I'm absolutely entitled to say it. And you're absolutely entitled to disagree with it, and you're absolutely entitled to be offended by it. But that's your truth, and that's something that you need to engage with. Don't come at me. Don't come at me. You engage with it, because Jesus asked those questions, and Jesus was the one, clearly. I don't know why I'm talking about Jesus, but what I'm saying is, you've got to live. You've got those options. Yeah, regardless of what you've been taught, regardless of what the society norms is, regardless of place, regardless of blah 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 blah. There's that, and then there's your truth. Which are you going to live? And what's hidden from you is that this type of questioning and this type of sort of back and forth that might be going on with you this weekend, with us this weekend, is one, or the strengthening of ourselves. It's showing our maturing awareness and engagement with both sides of ourselves, or with that side of ourselves, with our divine feminine. It's showing our heightened engagement with our instinct, which is the oldest and wisest part of you as a person. So that sort of, I don't know what's this is a physical demonstration of what's going on inside us all right now, right? How can I put some words to that? Give me a description for it. I don't know, but that tussle, there we go, tussle. So this tussle that might potentially be going on within you is about you being more aware and engaged and listening to the new emotional truths that are coming through for you. So you can either ignore the new emotional truths and say, well, I'm still going to do, even though I feel that I'm gay, I'm going to ignore it because I'm a Catholic. Then that's your choice. That's going to help you to learn more about yourself. I won't go there, but you have to have that discussion with yourself, or whatever it is. I don't know why I'm talking about homosexuality, but maybe for someone that's listening, that's a real question that particular person's going through. But these are just general examples that I give to try to highlight the energies. Okay, finally, this is going on. But what, guys, have you not missed me? Come on, you've missed me. I miss you as well. Blessing. This is the blessing of this weekend. What is it? See, I'm really annoyed that I didn't say what I was going to say then. I'm really annoyed that I stopped myself from saying what I was about to say. I'm really annoyed because what I was about to say was that tussle that you're going on. You know, if you decide, okay, well, I'm still on the same example. So if you're offended by it, then examine why you're offended by it, because it's triggering you. Don't come at me. It's that's your learning, okay? Anyway, that's your new emotional truth that you need to engage with, love. It ain't to do with me. Anyway, so I was about to say, this tussle, what's going on, if you do choose, the old way as opposed to choosing your way and what your truth is and your emotional truth, then that's the next step for you is going to be the lovers. And then the lovers came out, and actually number 5 and number 6. And it is like, this is you, and this is also you. This is you, this is also you. This is you, this is also you. This is you and you. And this is this. Today, this is this. Other times it could be it could be another ace. Other times it could be a king or a queen. But today, this is you, this is you, this is this, right? That's what, now let me try to explain what that means in 2 minutes, because this is going to be the longest Daily Pulse ever on record. But again, as I've said already, your actions and experiences are the divine masculine, the things that you do and the things that have happened and experienced in your life. And this is the imprint that those experiences have left you. So this is what you've learned and understood because of the things that have happened in your life. This is what we see with the Lover's card. Now, you have to, again, it's about weighing that up, isn't it? So it's interesting, isn't it, how we've all seemed to, I thought I was talking very much about myself when I was telling you guys about my emotional truth. The truth is the truth is the truth. And all we have to go on, all that I have to know what to do next is how I'm feeling now. Like, that's the only thing that's gonna get me through. The only thing that's going to get me to the next step is to engage with how I'm feeling now. So even if it's painful, even if I'm sat at home and I'm lying in my bed and I can't do any work and I can't speak to anyone and I can't face anyone because I'm in so much physical pain, I just have to sit with that physical pain. That's me personally, how it affects me the last couple of days. That's how it's going to have to be. And then I will know, and today, and I knew, didn't I? My friend texted me, I was like, it's time to get on and do these readings. Because I learned, as I said, this is the unavoidable new emotional truths we're coming into. This is what this represents. And it's about acceptance, this card. Remember, number 6 on the tree of life is the number of beauty. Is the number of beauty, and that's about the acceptance of something, the recognition of the value of something, the recognition in the value of our experiences, but also the recognition in the value of how I feel about my experiences and what I've learned from my experiences. This is, can you not see? This is what this is what the universe is showing us right now. It's very clear, isn't it? I said to you, you can live your truth or somebody else's, but it's very clear from these messages where the universe wants you to go. And you can put input universe, you can input God, you could input angels, you could input guides, you can input whatever you want there. But it's showing that the truth is the feelings. I mean, I had that feeling very, very starkly. Tiny, yes, is barking, because you know what that means. When Tiny barks, I mean, I think the postman's just come, to be fair. But Tiny, shh, be quiet. You know what that means. When Tiny barks, we all know that this is the truth. This is the truth, and it's the unavoidable truth. And so your emotions are the way to move you on to the next step. Just a second. Tiny, come here. Now. Come here. In here. Come in. Get in. Sorry, everybody. I can't do another easier. Here he is. Come on, look, everybody. Say sorry to everybody for disturbing. You can't even look. He won't even look him in the eye, will he? Say sorry to everybody for disturbing the tarot reading. Enough now. Lie down. Though the point is illustrated very nicely by Tiny. Be quiet. Quiet. Lie down. The point is illustrated very nicely by Tiny in the sense that the truth, the emotional truth that we're coming into, these are the things that you need to be listening to. So it's almost like it doesn't mean that there are odds. Doesn't mean that there are odds with. Excuse me. It doesn't mean that our emotional truths are at odds with what happens. Excuse me. I'm distracted. Excuse me. Silence. Shut up. It doesn't mean that our emotional truths are at odds with what we have been taught. It doesn't mean that, but it means that you are going to be you're going to be feeling your emotional truths. You're going to be more engaged with them. They're going to be louder to you. They're going to be clearer to you. Your own emotional truths, your own emotional reactions, your own emotional responses, regardless of how your truth affects anybody else. It doesn't matter. It's still the truth. And only knowing your truth is what's going to help you to understand how you want to move forward. So start with where you're at today. Start with where you stand now. Start with how you feel now. Start with what your reaction is now. Start with, okay, I'm angry now. Okay, so I'm angry. So why are you angry then? Why are you upset then? Why are you fed up then? Why are you frustrated then? Why? That's the start point for you, for me, for us all. Doesn't mean that we're necessarily angry. I mean, look at these energies. I mean, if this was a look, if someone, because I'm meant to be doing personal readings this week, but you can forget that. But if this was one of those love readings, it'd be like, oh my God, it's amazing, and it would be, think, oh my God, these are great energies. But this is the truth of how you feel. So you take for that what you will. I mean, I know from my experience, the truth of how I feel isn't always something that I'm jumping up and joy about, just because of the physical experience of these energies for me, because of my job as a Reiki master, blah blah blah. So I feel it a bit more intensely. So for me, I'm looking at these and going, bloody hell, this is going to be an every week. This is going to be a confronting weekend, but I feel like it's a type of weekend to get out in nature. I think we're all allowed. In fact, I don't know actually what it's like in some countries. I don't know if you are allowed out. I presume everyone's allowed out for some exercise, but try to get out this weekend for some exercise. It's tree weather this weekend. This is the weekend where you need to be around the trees, because the trees are the places that you just have to be. They just calm you down. They just chill you out, and they just let you listen. They speak to you, the trees. They speak to me, the trees anyway. It draws all the confusion out of the brain. It takes all the all that confusion goes through my feet, and all I can hear is the whispers of the trees. And the whispers of the trees always just tells me to just feel how I'm feeling, to just be here. You know, the trees are like, I just think they're like elephants almost. I feel like they just have the longest memories, and they just store it all there. And when you just walk past a tree, or when you just be around trees, it just, they know so much about how to be there, about how to be in that moment with them. And it's such a calming place to be. And I feel like it's a tree weekend this weekend. Get out to the trees if you can. Be with the trees, because the trees are going to be looking after us. I mean, I'll be there. I can't wait. I'm going to be taking Tiny for his little walk with the trees. We go to the one of a lovely park in Leeds, and we'll go there and we'll just be with the trees this weekend. I can see it, I can feel it right now, and I think that that's what we all need. We need something this weekend or this time period that just helps us to feel and to know that it's okay to feel like this. It's okay to feel in 3D, in stereo, in surround sound. It's okay to feel it, because you're actually maturing and we're actually strengthening with that connection anyway. Okay, my darlings, I'm sorry about Tiny's noise. He's been banished to the other room. Thank you so much for being here. I mean, as I said, I like to post all the extended readings at the same time, and I've not yet finished them because it's been physically difficult for me to finish them all. But do I upload some? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I might upload the ones I've done, but I might just upload them next week when they're all done. Because otherwise I'll upload some and then be like, where's Virgos? Where's Capricorn? Where's this? And I'm like, oh, I just have to just tell them it's coming. Anyway, so I might just wait, but they are coming. Just trust they're coming. Okay, my darlings, listen, this is a beautiful weekend, and you know, I've watched the retrograde video. It took me 12 hours to do that video, believe it or not. 12 hours of my life. It was a labour of love, but yeah, watch the video, and enjoy your weekend, my darlings. And I'll see you all again very soon with your brand new extended individual zodiac sign readings and daily pulses. Okay, my darlings, take care. Bye.